them hard. Ain't no time for permission. From the weight room to the plate, we spit motivation. Yeah, we yell at the but it's pure dedication. Got the podcast booming, the whole team listen. Big dudes, big hearts, and the scholarship glistening. Big dudes, big hearts, and the scholarship glistening.
Hey everybody, I'm Rob.
And I'm Chad.
And we're the Bucket Dads. Man, it's nice to be back in the studio, bro.
Nice,
it's been a while, you know.
We've been on the road. We've been, softball season is upon us.
Yep.
And we've been out of here for at least, 6 weeks, it feels like.
Yeah, it does feel like 6 weeks.
Yeah. So we kind of scrambled, put the studio back together tonight. And here we are, going to go over some things that we've been, what we've been up to, what we've been doing while we've been out of the house for a minute.
Yeah, we talk about like getting ready and like, it's going to be a grind and it hits, but man, when it hits, it freaking hits, bro.
And so you guys all know what we're talking about too, man. Like everything gets behind. Laundry is piled up like crazy right now, bro. I don't think we've done any laundry in like 2 weeks. Dude, I swear to God, bro. Right. Like grocery shopping, we're still eating like out of our coolers from last weekend's tournaments. You know what I mean? Like not that bad, but you know what I'm saying. We're still we're in mode. So this weekend is today is Saturday, May 23rd, by the way, and we're off this weekend. So here we are.
Yeah, we're getting ready for Bend, and it's gonna be crazy. I don't know all the different teams that are out there, but there's definitely gonna be quite a few decent teams coming in. And I'm pretty sure we're going up against Vandelsburg again. We have another a Blaze team, Child's team, which is the second year, 12U.
You might even see Blackout out there.
I think so.
You know,
yeah,
probably some good heavy hitters out there for sure, man.
Yep. Yeah. So,
and Bend's such a cool town to be in, anyways, man. Who doesn't love to go to Bend?
Right.
I mean, too bad that unfortunately. Myself, of course, Abby's going to go. Abby's going to go with you guys, but I'm not going to be able to make it. My son is getting married. For all you guys that don't know, my son is getting married in 2 weeks and down in California. So I can't. Thank you, appreciate that. And big shout out to my boy there. And I can't really afford to do a Bend trip and then a California trip and then a Seaside trip. Back-to-backs. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. We were talking about eventually, either through Blaze, getting on a gold team, or turning into a gold team and starting to do some pretty serious tournaments. My wife and I were talking about like going like, okay, think about this. Think about like, you want to watch Ziva. And then all of a sudden now you got to deal with the Colorado Sparkler and then the PGF down at Huntington Beach. Maybe a Canada Cup. You start looking at like the tournaments that like Northwest Bullets are involved in, even at the younger levels. You're just like,
Oh well, I mean, and that's.
Jeez.
I mean, that's what. Unfortunately, it's not unfortunately. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, it's a business. At the end of the day, all these teams they are part of an organization, and like any organization, they're trying to put a little coin in the bank.
Right. Exactly.
With that said, hey, look at all the hardware on the wall. You know what I mean? Look at all the hardware on the wall. And you want to be on our team, and those teams tend to cost a little more. But you know what? They get a lot of hardware on the wall.
Yeah.
So there is that. The different coaches, different training opportunities, different, just better players, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, and I don't know if we talked since this is after the Steve Reynolds podcast, which by the way, thank you all for loving and liking that. That was an absolute banger.
Yeah.
Some of our reels that we put out like went in the thousands. One of them I think is sitting right underneath 60,000 views right now on Instagram and like 20,000 on TikTok, or I think that's about right. But I finally went out to his barn with you and Abby and Ziva, and I gotta tell you guys, dude, when you talk about hardware,
yeah,
bro,
right,
bro. When you walk in there, like I make the joke, it looks like a karate studio that's been around for like 40 years.
It does. It smells like
dude.
one. I'm just saying,
Oh,
it
man.
smells like an old gym.
Yeah, but like there's like trophies everywhere, and we're not talking about just these little itty bitty like 2026. They're cool. We're talking about the big ass trophies, like we're going for the hardware, and like it's just I wouldn't say wall to wall, but there's like a good chunk of wall that's just nothing but trophies, and you're like, oh man, this is impressive. Then you go into another room and there's more. You're just like, Jesus, but you're right, money talks, and just like he was talking about, it takes a village and it takes good sponsors, and if you have that, then you don't necessarily have to like worry about all these girls paying their way every single time. The sponsors will take care of stuff. They'll pick up vans, or they'll pick up the hotel, or maybe get a discount rate on airfare.
And that's great stuff to look forward to, because another thing that Steve brought up is there's a lot more players, there's a lot more teams, there's a lot more organizations today than there was back in the 90s, and so like be careful who you're spending your money with, right? Yep. Like there's so many organizations out there, man, and so do some homework on who you decide to spend yours on.
Absolutely.
Did you talk to him about some lessons at all?
I didn't really get a chance. I could have, but I think he and I both decided that we didn't want to talk about everything in front of everybody else, because like I think the way he packages things, I think for the most part there's certain like set plans for like different types of individuals, right? But I'm also talking about coming in there and like doing some coaching out of there and helping out. So maybe he's gonna give me a deal. Maybe he makes me like be like the barn vacuum cleaner guy. I don't know. That's all he's like, can you do some electrical work? I'm like, I can cut some PVC. He's like, we'll talk later.
You see, you got the ladder. Running some conduit.
But man, I gotta tell you guys, if you guys haven't been out there, if you have a chance, if you're looking, I'm not going to say that he's cheap, because he's not cheap, but he's also not super, super expensive, right? Like if you were to like, for example, like we just got Ziva signed up over at that D1 place, right? Dude, that was not cheap. I don't want to get into it, but it was in the thousands for the summer for one-on-one training, but that's 3 times a week, personal trainer training, like, they put out D1 athletes at all different types of, in all different types of sports and stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be that expensive, but he's definitely not going to be uber cheap either, because this guy, red heat freaking Hall of Fame coach, you got to think you're paying for what you get, right? But I got to say, like the facility out there that he has out there in Cornelius, like blew my freaking mind. Yeah. It blew my freaking, like I had an idea what I was getting into. Like I'd seen some pictures, but until you're there, until you're standing right fucking there in the middle looking around, you don't realize how serious that place is. Yeah. He's literally has 2 of everything, sometimes 3.
It's literally a reflection of his life.
Yeah.
There's another, when you're coming down the driveway and then you see his like workshop, I kind of want to go trip around there and see what he's got. Let's see what he's been collecting over the years. And
that's where the 4 of everything is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was great. I definitely want to get some time in there. I think my plan is right now is to get Ziva through this summer training. Yeah. Get her the mechanics. Get her the structure of like the types of exercises and the training and stuff like that. Get her in the mindset with some like certified trainers that are probably more patient. Because I mean, let's be honest here. Steve's been around a long time. He's patient with a lot of girls. He's probably really patient, but he's getting up there, and old pissed off grandpa might come out once in a while.
I'm sure
what I'm saying? So I just want to make sure that she's a little more prepared, and then I think like after the summer, I think like fall, winter, and probably going forward, we're probably going to be out there training pretty freaking hard.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And it's cool too, because it's pretty much like a one-stop shop. You got your pitching lessons. In fact, he's hosting a catcher's clinic tomorrow. Abby's not going to make it, but he's hosting a catcher's clinic tomorrow. So pitching lessons, catching clinics,
hitting,
long toss, fielding,
power, weight training. Like
you can bring your daughter and just rent some space and have everything you need, kind of like what I do. Mm-hmm. You can drop your kid off, and it's pretty great over there.
I'm assuming you could probably come to him with like bullet points of what you want, and he'll probably custom design a program for your athlete.
I'm sure that's exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure. So yeah, he's just great guy, funny guy too. Keeps you on your toes. I like that. That's the thing, man. He asked me a question one day, and I was like, I feel like I know the answer, but I don't know if this is a trick question, so I'm just going to answer it.
Yeah.
And then it was like the obvious answer, and I feel like such an idiot.
He does that to the girls.
I was like, God,
he does that to the girls all the time. It was kind of cool too. He showed up, and we had a tournament in Kaiser last weekend, and he showed up with his 14s.
Yeah.
And it was great because we won first place.
Uh-huh.
His 14s took first place.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They took first place down in Medford, right?
Yes, they did.
Beating a blackout team down there quite handedly, I believe. I want to say it was like 11-2 or 11. I want to say he beat them by like a lot. I don't remember what the score was.
That when they went down south. Oh yeah, they got a, I think it was 11-2 on that blackout team.
Yeah.
But they won their first place in that same Lucky Penny tournament. That they played in. I think their 10s did too. I think their 10s were playing in Newburgh on that same tournament. And I think their 10s picked up a first place out of that too.
Oh wow!
I was like, well, okay, here we go.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah,
so, all good things, man. That was a great tournament too.
Yeah, and since that podcast, also I've had a lot of his players like reach out to us like through Instagram and stuff like that. Like
many.
It's like, man, you can tell like.
Found out that my cousin's daughter was one of his girls.
Yeah,
I told you they went 31-2, something crazy like that. I think we might have talked about that one, but yeah.
But yeah, we're getting different people coming out of the woodwork. We've had a couple different teams that are following us. We have a couple down in Corona, California.
Yeah, shout out to the Angels down there, huh?
Yep.
Shout out to you guys.
Shout out to you guys. Thank you. And if you guys haven't already, and you guys are checking this podcast out, please like and subscribe, share.
Do all the things.
Like the smash buttons, smash the pound button.
That's right. Pound the like button.
Yeah, that's right.
I think there's another Angels team too, right? Out of Eastern Washington, Eastern Oregon. We played them. They were a great team. They're following us. Tri-Cities. That's right.
Yep.
Lots of Angels. It's funny. I was looking on when you go onto like Game Changer and you just search a team. Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm sure that's why there's Oregon Blaze, because there's like a Blaze in every city, every state.
I mean, there is. Well, I don't know about every state, but I mean, shit, there's a AUSL team.
There's literally like look at the Lady Bombers. You know how many girls softball teams are named the Lady Bombers?
Dude,
that's a classic.
Seriously,
name.
that is one of the most popular names out there.
Lady Bombers.
Yeah. There's other organizations like Mercado and Batbusters and Top Gun and stuff like that, Impact, but I mean, those are all part, I think, of the same organization. They're just like different chapters, but different sectors throughout the United States. I saw that I want to say
affiliates.
Affiliates. There's like Mercado, I think, is like trying to expand up here. Northwest Bullets just I think is creating or has created 2 more or 3 more, maybe 4 more teams up in Seattle.
Wow.
Yep.
Holy cow.
Yep. I think it's like 3 more teams. I think it's like 2, maybe it's 4, maybe it's 4. I think it's like 2 14U and 2 12U up there. So softball's heating up.
Hey, if you got the money, if your organization's got the money to do it, they're going to do it, because I'm sure, if you're bringing home hardware, dude, they're making some money. Softball is heating up. Division I softball heated up on us real quick.
Hey, kudos to you and to me.
Hey, that's right.
I don't know if you guys saw this, but we covered the D1 top 5,
and we made some predictions.
Yeah, we made some predictions. And what was your prediction?
Hey, Texas Tech. Yeah,
Texas Tech. And I went with Tennessee as long as Carlin Pickens could stay healthy, and I got scared there for a little bit. I got scared there, man, because she did injure herself in some way, shape, or form, but then she came back and like finished the season strong. And
how about that? I keep forgetting her name, but that freaking freshman pitcher for Alabama, dude.
Oh, dude, I know you're talking about.
My gosh, man, she is amazing.
She's like mini Nigeria.
She is.
Yeah,
she looks like that.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
so lots of talent out there.
Yeah,
man.
there is. It's crazy because we talk about Carlin Pickens and we've talked about Reese Atwood,
sure,
and then they both get drafted by the Carolina Blaze. So I don't know if you guys got tickets for AUSL and Cascade, but we do.
We do.
We're not missing that game or those games. And if Ziva's practicing or if Ziva's playing, I might be like, Ziva, I'll catch it on Game Changer. I'm not going to miss that.
They're mostly all night games. Most of them are evening games. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, which it is what it is, man. The game, we're not going to make all the games. So we'll definitely have some definitely I'm going to have some seats available. Maybe we'll do a prize. Maybe we'll do something like that. Maybe we'll do something like that. We'll have something where we can engage our fans, or we can maybe, let loose of a couple of tickets that we're not going to be able to make for some somebody that, I don't know, tugs at the old heartstrings.
We should definitely do that.
Mm-hmm. And our car wash that we talked about, the our topless car wash. That's going to be hot. It's going to be a hot one for the summer. And I've been getting in my topless car wash shape.
I'm definitely not in the topless car wash shape. Good enough for some laughs.
That's right. Well, that's all that made me.
Definitely not going to have some woman go, "Hey, Bucket Dad, come on over here and squeegee my window."
It might be your wife. But.
No, she'll be like, "Hey, Bucket Dad, put a shirt on, cover them moobs."
It'll probably be our kids giving us the most crap out of it.
Probably.
Whatever it is.
Probably. I'll be like, "Go fill that bucket. Be quiet.
Go fill it up. Go rinse that car. Rinse all the soap that I didn't get."
Yeah. So today I had a lot of fun. I went out and did a pickup practice for some of the Blaze girls, but also some of the other girls who are actually daughters of some fans of our podcast. So there are some benefits to liking, subscribing, sharing, and being part of the podcast. Maybe you get invited out to some coaching, some lessons with yours truly, and this guy over here.
I didn't make it today, though.
No, you had to work.
I did.
Yeah, but we went out there, and I think we hit it for almost 4 hours, man.
I think Abby made it she pulled in the last hour or something like that.
She did. I did like a double take, and I was like, where'd the redhead come from?
Yeah.
And I was like,
Julia?
Is that? No, but I was like, hey. What is that? Is that Abigail? What are you doing here? So we had a good time. A lot of girls got some good contact in.
What were you doing? Mostly hitting?
It was mostly hitting. We started off with doing pop flies. I put the girls out there to kind of warm them up, and I put the machine in the wagon, so I was moving around like a cannon, adjusting the speed and stuff like that. And then towards the end of that, I had them all turn around and had them I shot up in the air, and they had to turn around and find it in the air, and then run to it and grab it and stuff.
Long throwback.
Yeah. I told him basically, hey, what's the first step? Back. Okay. And what we're trying to do when we catch it, we're trying to catch and move through the catch so we can get momentum into a throw. And of course, the young girls are having problems, but at the same time, I was telling them, I was like, dude, Ziva, as a second year 10U last year, was also having problems.
Were they 10s?
Yeah. And I was just like, dude, when that ball gets up there, 70, 80 feet up in the air, because that freaking machine launches them.
Dude, I forgot about how bad
And so they're
is.
getting up there, the ball's spinning. Now, granted, they don't have big fat seams on them. They're like machine ball, low profile seams. But it gets up there. If there's any kind of crosswinds, which the winds shift throughout Cook Park where we're at, they're not just all one direction. That ball can dance on you.
Bro, I've caught balls off that machine. Okay. Out there when you launch them. It's not just that. There's a mental. You hear it coming. Oh, yeah. It's supposedly like a drone, dude. Like what the Russians are. Like you hear that thing coming. It's you're like, oh god, and it's and it moves, dude. It moves you're like, whoosh, wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow! I remember that one time last year when I had the girls out there, and I was all Ziva. Boom, and I'm all, just get under it. And she's like, it would hit her glove and wow, take her,
rip her glove off.
Yeah, and I was like, dang. And then I went out there and I caught one. I was like, God, no, turn that thing down, bro.
Not freaking easy.
Yeah.
But the thing is that if you can catch one of those, then when something gets 30, 40 feet off the ground and it's more of a direct angle at you, it's no big deal. Yeah.
But you do hear it, man. They do come flying in and like,
yeah. So cranked up, we were on 220. I think we're on 220 fences, and I wasn't able to launch it from behind home plate over the fence. But I have a feeling if that would have been a 200 fence, I think I probably could have got it. And but yeah, it was lots of fun. So we started with pop flies, and then we brought it out, and I basically used some AI the night before, and I did some calculations for 30 miles an hour, 30 foot, 35 and 37, because that's kind of my calculation of the release point of 10U, which is at 35 feet when they pitch from, so it's 30-foot release point.
Yeah.
Probably more 31, but still 30 foot. And then once you get to 12U, then they move it back to 40 feet. So I'm okay, the release point's probably 34, because I'm thinking Ziva's probably leaping about 6 feet by now. She definitely moves through the air.
Sure.
So 34. So 30 foot, 34, and then 37 in case they're 43 feet, 14U,
wow,
getting a decent lunge. So I basically said, all right, what's the reaction time calculation? So I knew okay, girls, you're hitting it right now. 30 foot.
Yeah.
If the ball's coming in at 44, but hey, 12U girls, it's the equivalent of 50 or 51
Yeah.
because of the calculation. And it's crazy, man, because when you start doing those calculations and you realize what we were going up against last year at the 10U level, and that some of these pitchers were touching like 58 last year.
Easy.
Remember Hermiston, those girls were touching 50. I clocked them myself. So I know it's not like some exaggeration. 58. And dude, and you think of 58 from 30 feet.
Yeah.
Let me get out my picture for you guys, and I'll put it right here so you guys can see it. It's scary. It's scary. And no wonder why they got first place in state, because no one's going to hit that shit. All right. So from 30 feet, if they're pitching between 56 and 60 miles an hour from 30 feet, that's the reaction time of a collegiate 70 to 74 mile an hour fastball. That's like hitting Carlin Pickens or Nigel Kennedy. That's basically what we were dealing with last year.
That's crazy,
at the
bro.
10U level.
That's wild.
Just freaking nuts, dude.
That is nuts, dude.
And even dropping it down to like freaking like 48 to like 52. You're talking about 62 and a half or whatever miles per hour. That's still fast for a 10U like brain to be able to calculate as far as reaction time goes.
I mean, I feel it's like that, like a 16 or 18 or even like I was watching some college games, and I mean, some of those girls are pitching. It's like 62, 62 to 69, really.
Yeah, and then you got a couple that are up in the 70s.
Yeah,
and you're just like, damn, dude. Yeah. And then you got some that are up in the 70s with a bunch of spin, and you're like, how are you gonna hit that? How are you gonna hit that?
Oh, but they do.
But they do. Some of them do.
And you're like, holy cow!
Mm-hmm.
And then like, how are you gonna catch that? And then they do. And you're like, holy shit! She just did that.
Yeah, but I gotta tell you, like one of the things that we definitely noticed today was that. And I mean, it's pretty common sense, right? When we were pitching off the machine today, as the machine got turned up, the balls went way further.
Sure.
Common sense, right? But just keep that in mind. Coaches, parents, when you're trying to, help your kid realize that they can smash the ball,
You need faster pitches.
you need faster pitching. You have to have faster pitching.
Yeah.
If you want them to jack one over a fence, unless they're a massive big back that's basically hit their peak by the time they're freaking 12U, and they're not going to grow anymore, chances are they're going to need the speed to get them over the fence. Now, obviously, if you've ever been around some D1 hitters or some really good high school hitters, they can hit a tee over a fence, But generally speaking, with this composite bats, as long as you get that sweet spot in playing with that ball, you don't even have to swing that hard. You just make contact, that ball will sail, as long as it's fast enough. So, but So anyway,
So how else? What else did you guys do? You guys were out there for 4 hours, dude. Holy cow!
Just a bunch of hitting. We went through I went through some bunt drills about how to hold the bat, because a lot of people get it wrong. They hold it. I wish I had a bat, but basically they hold it where where the two-piece connection, where the actual like connection like starts to like go into like the rubberized like connection thing, and then into the actual barrel. They hold it like right there, and the problem is that like for me and for a lot of other people, maybe some coaches are like, oh, you don't want to, but I'm telling you right now, when I was taught to bunt, and it makes the most sense, especially when you start doing it yourself, you want to hold the bat, obviously down at the knob, but the other hand should be right at the fulcrum point for balance, right? And they almost always hold it where the connection point is, and that's not the balance point. The balance point is right at the end of the taper on the barrel. That's where the balance point. Like if you put your finger right there and you put the bat right there at the end of the taper where where the barrel starts, that's usually where it balances, right? And so what happens is that if you hold it on the taper or hold it on the barrel, you will have way better barrel control. Sure. And so when you put down the bunt, you don't dip the barrel as much. You end up actually putting down proper bunts. And then a lot of these girls, no one's ever told them they're supposed to hit it off like the ending 3 inches of that bat. And so they're hitting it off the sweet spot. So they're bouncing it up and stuff like that. Exactly. So
kind of like dead, kind of catch the ball.
Right.
Really, you're trying to catch the ball.
Right.
Really.
So I went through some bunting with them, and one of the things that I'll just use this as an example that Lily, Ziva's coach, recommended was when you grab the barrel, instead of grabbing it like this,
Yeah.
or grabbing it like this, you put your finger on the back side of the barrel, it stabilizes it, so you actually have better barrel control because you have pressure on the back. And a bunch of those girls did that today and put down some beautiful bunts.
Nice, man.
Yeah, so that was nice. And I also told them, I was like, hey, I'm not telling you to do this right now because I don't want to be responsible for you getting your finger smashed. But once you start getting more comfortable with bunting, when you actually grab the bunt, like if you grab the bunt and you're doing like a drag bunt or a quick bunt or something like that, if you watch D1 players, if you watch like current D1 players when they bunt, rarely do they ever hold it like this.
Sure.
They don't even hold like this. They actually grab it and they put their fingers in front of it. And there's a reason why is they have a better chance of not dropping the barrel and getting up on top of it. I got a couple tutorials that I found online of them like talking about it and actually experimenting with like dropping their fingers in front versus holding it back like this. You have better command over the top. And so like I saw that demo and I was like, because I mean I kind of saw that in one of the collegiate World Series games or one of the super regionals or something like that. I was like, I saw that girl had her fingers out in front, which your coach never to do that.
Right.
Like don't ever get your fingers on her fingers, smash your fingers, right? And the funny thing is that last year there was a girl that I was working with and we were talking about bunting and I was like, listen, because she was still grabbing her way down at the connection point, and I was like, dude, just put your hand around it. I was like, you're trying to bunt it over a foot away from where your hand is.
Right.
You guys like, the ball's not going to hit your fingers, right? Like you're smart enough. You're going to pull it back, right? She's like, yeah. And then like not even a week later, dude, she didn't pull it back and she hit her. It didn't bust her fingers, but it was like, oh my God, dude. So I was like, I don't want any girls to do that until they probably hit high school and they have like a lot more experience. But like the real experienced ones, like the Tavia's out there, could probably get away with it. She's like, sharp. She's on it. You know what I mean? But yeah, if you watch D1 hitters, man, and you watch slow motion on them, almost all of them have their fingers out in front of it. It's crazy because they know they're not going to hit the freaking fingers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I mean, they're professionals.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, exactly.
And that's really, we were talking about before where we're using the bat's kind of just like an extension, what I mean?
Yeah.
And just trying to like tap something like lightly and not, you know what I mean? And just trying to do those little drills where you're just trying to like tap something lightly and not, you know what I mean? Just kind of know where your bat makes contact. Yeah.
So I went over that, and then one of the other players on the team, like I was explaining her, and I was like, hey, I'm just telling you right now, Travis is probably going to have you bunt a lot because he already has tried to have you bunt a lot because you're decent at bunting and you're also fast, right? And I was like, but I'm gonna teach you how to do a push bunt, because if you start bunting a lot, what's gonna happen is that they're gonna start really bringing those corners in, and you have to be able to push it past the corners, right? So I taught her, I was like, with a push bunt, it's different. With a push bunt, you do kind of grab it at the connection point, because you want to get your hand away from the sweet spot of the barrel, which is like right in the middle, right?
Sure.
So what happens is you get it and you put it back, and then when the ball comes, you basically kind of push. It's not like you push, but you firm up. You don't catch, because like normally with a bunt, you kind of catch it like a little bit to like deaden it. With this one, you kind of firm it, but you want to make sure that ball hits dead center in the sweet spot, and you can basically push it right between the pitcher and the third baseman, or the first baseman and the pitcher, right? And first time it didn't work, second time it didn't work, third time she pushed it, Nova came up to grab it, and the freaking ball bit and grabbed it and went right past Nova. I was like, look at that, you did it. She was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. So it was cool to watch.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so we did that, and then we did like we slowly but surely we turned to the machine.
Yeah.
And try to build the confidence on the low end stuff first, and then try to crank up the machine. But I wasn't going through like 10 pitches then switch. We're going through an entire bucket, and like some girls only got one round, some girls got two, some girls that stayed there for the entire time got like five, but it was good. And luckily one of the dads out there had a connection to basically get us an extension cord, because I left the battery at home. I thought Ziva packed it up, and she didn't, and I was like, oh, we got out there. I was like, oh, shit, what are we gonna do? But he knew somebody that with the connection to like the shed, and we were able to borrow one of the extension cables and like powered that thing like for 4 hours straight. And it was badass, man. And then the other thing was like they got dugouts out there to cover, so like it started getting hot, but
it's beautiful weather today too.
Yeah.
God,
so
started off a little bit cloudy today on the river, but man,
Yeah. So let's talk about the progression of Abby and going to the gym, man, because you guys been hitting the gym a lot.
Yeah, well,
a lot.
Well, the progression of the gym obviously kind of slowed down for us because the days that work best for us now that we're in softball season, our days have been Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's been our split. That just works for us.
Yep.
Because Fridays and Mondays we don't really have anything. But now with softball every weekend, it's a little bit harder. But yeah, man, we've been at it. Abby, I think we have been. I think Abby's had a membership now for, I'm gonna say, close to 2 years, dude. We've been at that gym for almost 2 years.
Wow.
And so she was definitely 10. It's been great, man. We go down there. She's at the age now, and she's been going long enough that I really don't have to like get her too. You know what I mean? She kind of knows what she wants to do.
Yeah.
And she's been actually, to be honest with you, she's been doing a lot of agility stuff lately, man. She's been doing a lot of high knees, not really doing a lot of lifting lately. She's been doing a lot more agility stuff and pull-ups, body weight stuff. And that's been her goal, is to be able to do a pull-up unassisted. We're still not there, but it takes a lot of strength to be able to pull yourself up. We started off. I firmly believe, we've talked about this before. I firmly believe that you can pretty much tear their legs up. You know what I mean? You can pretty much get them going. And when I mean tear them up, I'm not trying to go over crazy, but like you could do legs a few days a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could do legs a few days a week, and you don't have to go crazy. But like little goblin squats. And you start them off with a little 5-pound dumbbell or 10-pound dumbbell, ups and downs. The same thing we did with Ziva and Abby. Now they do, they don't really do too many goblin squats anymore. They're squatting like 95 pounds for, reps now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying reps like 5 to 7, and we're doing like 3 to 4 sets at a time.
Yeah.
Deadlifting. That's been fun. The progression for deadlifting has been wild to watch. We started that one with like the 30-pound bars, and we're up to 105 pounds now. Just the confidence, watching her look at herself in the mirror, dude, being confident enough to just pose a flex. She don't care if the gym's busy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She'll get right up in the mirror and just double buys and checking out her little pump. I love that, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then she got shouted out by one of the trainers the other day. Tess, she said, you guys were always in here, blah, 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 blah. And I can't believe, Abby's grown so much and this and that. And it's been great to watch her do this
Awesome.
stuff.
That's badass.
Yeah, man. So that's been really fun, and to be honest with you, one more year. And I think, and Mike, don't take this the wrong way, we're going to keep your membership, but one more year, I think we're going to get a membership to Planet again. She can start going there when she's 13.
Really? Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, they just have a lot of stuff. They have a lot of user friendly, not like juggernaut kind of equipment, kid friendly equipment. I feel like,
yeah.
And even like they even got a pretty good like that circuit room back there, that 30-minute circuit room where you can just go from one to the other and run through that little circuit, a bunch of exercises in like 30 minutes. I feel like the girls would really super benefit from that.
Yeah, I think we might end up doing something like a Planet Fitness or like a back to like the aquatic center or something like that, because at least for the summer for me. Yeah. Because I can tell you right now, Ziva is probably not going to be going. So because of like taking on all the training,
one thing,
yeah,
because in the gym 3 days a week.
Because of that training, I think we're going to at least put the membership on freeze for a while until the fall, and then we figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, Planet or Balance Fitness is a great place, but we definitely don't use it enough as it is right now. And then with that D1 stuff like that, it's like there's just not enough time, man. There's just not enough time. Like we're going back to back to back like 5 times for tournaments, and then we go into the big ones like the Triple Crown, and I think Valley Invites in there or something like that. It's just it's going to be a lot. But
she'll be in the gym quite a bit, man.
Yeah,
and
yeah, she will be. And then on top of that, then we're also going to be doing like pick up like agility with Steve, Holly's father. In case we haven't told you guys about him, he is a badass track guy himself. He ran I believe the 800
Olympic prospect.
He almost got through the qualifiers, but he
blew his knee or something.
Blew out his hamstring. But both of his daughters, one of them's on our team, and you know she's
Track star.
freaking absolute track star.
Both his daughters are track
and
stars.
his other daughter's track star too, Shelby. She's fantastic. But luckily he's decided to put any girls that want to join. So Abby is invited, and also any of the moms and dads probably. But he's going to basically put them on a 5K schedule for the summer, so try to get them to the point where at the end of the summer they can do a 5K.
Nice.
So because he was going to get in on that, but
That's awesome.
yeah, man. So, you know, summer break, you know, all these kids are getting out of school. Oh, summer break, time to have fun. Shit.
Yeah.
That just means we're turning it up for our daughters, man.
Yeah.
You
And they
know,
love it, though.
They do love it.
They do love it. It is fun for them. And, you know, surprisingly enough, I was going to share this with you the other day, but I didn't. She brought up Steve because, you know, she's always trying to avoid that conversation at the agility running.
Oh,
and stuff, right?
yeah.
She's like, I really need to get out there. So the other day, we went to the gym, and it was on Wednesday night. And I wanted to sit in the sauna. So Meredith got off work, so I called Meredith, and I'm like, hey, can you come pick up Abby so I can sit in the sauna for a minute? So she picked her up, and then I kind of, long story short, I shorted Abby her workout. She didn't get a great workout in that night, and she let me have it when I got home. She was like, so I said, all right, well, let's go down to the school then. You know, we want to go down to the school and go and do our thing. So we went down to the school, and I think that's when I told you I heard that guy's name. We won't mention his name, but anyways, that other team.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
But anyways, got out on the track, dude, and she started running sprints on me. I was like, from like, you know, 10 yards and then 15 yards, and then like she was just running sprints. And so I was like, all right, Abby, do you understand what I'm telling you when I'm saying get in front of your feet? Put your weight in front of your, you know, stay in front of your feet on your toes. And I think she finally started to kind of get that, you know what I mean, to be on her toes.
Good for her.
Yeah. So I think that getting faster is important to her too.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
she has gotten a lot faster.
It's true. You know, one of the things, I mean, I don't know if this is the situation in baseball. I don't think so, but in softball, but something for a lot of players players and parents to think about is that in softball, we have courtesy runners for catchers and for pitchers, right?
Do that.
And so if you're a coach, what are you going to want to have in front of your catchers and your pitchers as far as players go?
Right.
Because the courtesy runner is the last person that got out. So you definitely want to have a stacked lineup in front of your catchers and pitchers of speedsters, right? Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. So basically my point is that if your daughter is a pitcher or a catcher, right? Or is a non-pitcher or catcher, but is like, you know, like definitely has like sprint issues, like very like on the slower end of things, but they might be hitting the crap out of the ball. Moving them up through the lineup, it's not just about how far they can hit the ball and how often they can hit the ball. It's about how fast they can run because they have to be able to use as a courtesy runner.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So speed and quickness in softball, I believe, has a lot more weight than in baseball because, number one, fast pitch softball is a quicker, faster sport. I think we already established that on an earlier podcast, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because of like the difference between men and women and the difference between like, you know, first and home and like baseball versus like fast pitch. Like you can bunt and win a game on bunting in fast pitch softball. You cannot win a game on bunting in baseball. It's very difficult, right? But like I was just watching like some like replays. Like I said, I was watching some bunts recently, like just to double check about the hand positioning, and I saw some of the most routine bunts. Girls were safe. Yeah. And I'm like, damn, because you got that girl from like, you know, what is it, Arizona, the 00 freaking I forgot her name, but you know, the one that's like, the one that in the part, you know, dude, she lays down a bunt. That catcher better be the quickest goddamn catcher or the quickest pitcher, or that third baseman better be in the air diving for that ball. You know, because otherwise that girl's safe.
Like that one video, that one third base. God, that's
man. So that's really good that she's doing that. And honestly, Ziva needs to start doing that kind of shit too, because you know Ziva's gotten taller, she's put on some mass, she's gotten stronger. But when we were just like clocking her 100 meter, her 100 meters about stayed the same. So I'm like, got a little pudgy. Didn't really work on like she's not pudgy, but you know, like you would think that you know, her velocity's gone up, you know, with pitching big time, like it's risen like 10 miles an hour in like 1 year, you know, like, you know, the balls are going further when she's hitting them, she's cracking them. You would think that, hey, she's probably getting faster, right?
It's technique, brother.
No, it is. It's a lot of technique and it's a lot of mechanics. And that was one of the evident things that was, or things that was really evident when we were at D1 getting that eval, is because they have them do like, you know, they have them do like sprints from here to there. They have them do like broad jumps. They have them do vertical and stuff like that. And so they'd have them do it their way, and they'd mark it down, and then they give them a little bit of instruction, and then have them do it again and write it down, and then they give them a little more instruction, and you could see that every single time they were instructed, that she was instructed, everything increased. Everything, actually, there was drastic improvements. There's one that was, I forgot which one it was. I'll have to let you know next time. But there was one where she improved so much that in the however many years this guy's had this place open, she was the #1 athlete. She was the athlete who has absolutely improved the most during the eval from one point to the instructional point. He was like, it's pretty mind blowing, pretty remarkable. It was like a 25% gain, which is pretty big gain. When talking about anything, you know. So mechanics go a long way. So the fact that Abby's doing that, that's great, you know, and that's really cool, because then like when she's done doing it, if she wants to start doing it with a partner, you know, Ziva's there to do it with her. You know what I mean? That's badass.
And the backstory on that, you guys, is everybody knows Abby's not the fastest. She drags pianos, so
but she's gotten faster. She's
definitely gotten faster.
And I was watching her today when she was running around. She was like really working. She's been doing this for a while. She's been working on like butt kicks. Like when she's running, she's trying to like kick her butt with her heels, and she's like prancing out there, just like springing like a deer with like, you know, her legs are flying up and around behind her. I was like, this was not Abby a year ago. No. You could tell that she's feeling good about her leg strength.
She is.
You know,
she is.
So it's pretty badass.
And to touch back on just what you were just talking about with the mechanics and technique, a great example is you look at little Allie, and she'll put one out there just as far as a Kaya will, you know, and you know, you look at them, one, they're not the same. They're not built the same. They don't have the same body at all.
Dude, Allie is she has so much potential. She's just a little coil spitfire, dude. And when she makes contact, that ball goes way faster than you think it's going to go.
It goes far.
Yeah. And you know
fast.
what?
You're right.
Hey, for you coaches that are watching that we've played you and you guys are playing up on Allie, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. She's the one that you need to watch out for. And like everybody's like, oh no, come in. And I'm like, come in.
I'm like, yeah, come on in.
Dude, please come on in. And that's why I was yelling when like they were telling her to do it. I was like, hey, Allie, they don't think you can hit it. Look at that. They're coming on in. Kind of like,
see ya.
Like, dude, she's going to, if that situation, if you come on in and she hits it with as fast as she is, that's an in the park home run at our level right now. Like you don't be thinking that Allie freaking Carney can't freaking belt it, man.
Super fast bat.
Absolutely can.
Super fast bat and wild mechanics, but super fast bat.
Not only that, man. She was like last year, or maybe last fall and last year, she was like she had like the second. Actually, at one time she was #1 as far as batting average. You know, like she connects. She's been a little bit slow lately, but she'll come out of it.
Not change subject. What if you took all the game changer stats? Yeah. Right? You take all the girls' game changer stats and you upload it, right? And then you have them see what the batting order looks like. You know what I mean? And see. I was thinking about that the other day, because like you're just talking about, like where you're at in the batting lineup really, really matters. You know what I mean? And see what AI says about batting orders and stuff like that. Just to see where, just as a comparison.
Yeah, I mean, I'll look it up. I'll check it out because, like I said, speed has something to do with it. Speed has something to do with it.
Yeah, you take all their scores and you upload it and see what it does. You know, see if it puts it, and you're like, oh, that's weird. I wonder why.
You know
what I mean?
That's a great idea. You know, so check us out. In about 4 or 5 more days, we're going to sign up for like 2 months of premium subscription for Game Changer, because we have the team pass, right? The team pass doesn't do shit though. It's like horrible, right? Because you don't get to see like team stats. You get to see like stats only for your daughter. So anyways, in like 5 more days, when we get the team pass, I'll be able to look at all the advanced metrics. Yeah. And I'll put together a freaking spreadsheet in a table. Yeah. And I'll do that. Yeah. I will put that thing in there and I'll be like, okay. Yeah. Judging off these stats, which, granted, They're not always accurate, but
Yeah.
they're pretty accurate, but
Yeah.
they're not always accurate.
And I'm not saying that I'm not saying anything about our batting lineup.
Oh,
I'm
no.
not saying. I'm just saying.
You're just curious. You're
I'm
just curious.
if you'd be like, wow, that's weird.
Yeah. No, what's also interesting is that there's another team, and I won't say who or what, but there's another team with other parents that are concerned about how their lineup is structured. As a matter of fact, I was just having this conversation just the other night, right, with one of the other team parents, and they sent me a photo of their lineup, and like, does this make sense to you? Look at this, and like, now look at the lineup, and blah blah blah. And then of course I had to start thinking to myself, well, is it like the five people in the bottom of the lineup, like 4 out of the 5 are the slowest on the team? Because that might be a thing, because I know some coaches are about that, but I didn't ask that question. But it's funny because we were talking about that, and I was like, and I was looking at the averages, and I was like, that's kind of weird. Why would you put a 225 person so high up in the lineup? And I was like, maybe they're super fast. I don't know. And I couldn't scroll, so I couldn't see how many stolen bases they had.
Sure.
Because then like you can be like, oh, they got 50 stolen bases. That's the wheels right there.
Saying.
You know
what I'm saying?
So yeah. So if I could go through the advanced stats and then like copy that, put that into a table, and then like load that spreadsheet up into Gemini, and then have Gemini give me some type of a lineup based on that. I'm really curious to see what happens, and I will absolutely do that, and I will absolutely share it with you. Yeah. And what I'll do is I will just I will switch names around. Right, so just blanket names, right?
Sure, that's a good idea.
And then we'll just like feed it and like
that's a great idea.
See what happens.
Ooh, we can make up names.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
we'll give them crazy old names, dude.
Yeah, Bertha. Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3.
Yeah, Gen 1. This is Gen 1.
Oh man,
good stuff.
That's a really I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah,
I'm absolutely going to do that.
Yeah, I thought it was a good idea.
Game changer, man. So like somebody, that's the thing. Like you can only do so much with game changer, right? Because like I was just on like in a group, and they were talking about like, how do you score this? And they were talking about like, it was like was it inside the park? Check this out. It was inside the park home run, and the second runner or the third runner didn't touch a plate or something like that, or freaking touched a player before they hit home plate. Right? Because that's the thing, is like when they're coming on in, I believe a coach can like high five a player. I'm not so sure about that, but I've seen that in like college, and you can get away with that. But other players cannot touch the player until they touch the plate.
Gotcha.
And it was like, what happened was that like
technical.
What happened was that this person ran in, and then they didn't touch the plate, and they stepped onto the side. And then one of the players went like, hey, and like tapped him on the shoulder, like, hey, you need to touch home plate. And then they touched home plate. And it was like, then more runs scored. And it was just like, it's like, dude, I'm so happy that I'm not the one doing game changer. Cause I don't know how the hell you put that in there, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I go look back at game changer, and it makes absolutely no freaking sense. And I'm like, this person, they suck at a game changer. Or man, what the hell were they doing? Drinking? Like what they have in their Stanley? Jesus Christ, get your shit together, mom or dad, or whoever the hell's doing it. Dude, it's not that freaking easy, guys. Okay, don't be hard on your game changer people. They're doing the best job they can, and sometimes it's just not an easy answer. So sometimes they got to make up shit to try to make things work. Like we had a situation where somebody started something or somebody finished something before something happened, and we lost like an entire game of stats, and so we had to go back and like use the book and like replug in all of the stats from the book. So like the plays weren't necessarily accurate, but the stats were accurate. The errors were accurate. Yeah. But it's just like, dude, shit, trying to podcast that game is hard enough. Could you imagine trying to run game changer? Now, take of that, and then you think about some coaches, like, for example, that one person who we didn't name that you saw on the field. Yeah. That guy actually runs game changer as he's coaching. Yeah. And it's just like, geez, dude, like coaching and running game changer at the same time. Yeah. Wow.
I've seen that too. And you're like, what the heck?
Dude, like, obviously you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, because they're just like,
yep, boom. And you're like,
and they're still calling. They're doing it from third base.
Yeah, like as they're keying it in, they're like putting down their signs.
Exactly.
You know?
It's like
It's
giving a
crazy.
fake bunt sign, and
Yeah.
he's preloading his game changer stats. He already knows what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and one more thing, you know, that we did, we didn't really talk about it here. When we were gone, we weren't gone. We were out of the out of the studio. We did a few podcasts on the road while we were at tournaments, and I think you guys are going to see some of that here soon. And we had a couple of cool guests on that. We had a tournament director.
Yeah.
At one point.
But
That's right.
before we let you guys go, I don't have it in studio, but I'm gonna put a picture of it right here. Okay, so kind of like a little bit of a health scare. It's not really a health scare, but it's kind of a health scare. One of our players went to a doctor recently, and they were talking about whatever, and they got the subject of foot or ankle injuries. And this doctor told our player and our player's parents that there's a certain bone on the around the ankle that if it gets hit by a ball, it can be career ending.
Wow.
Because it's a really thin bone, and when they break, they almost never heal right, and it's right around growth plate, and it causes problems. So listen, I bought these. Here's one. Here's the other. I'm going to have links to them down here so you guys can like check them out. I bought one of each so Ziva can test it out because she's a switch hitter. So we were using them today at the field. We had girls wearing them left and right. All the girls loved wearing them. And as a matter of fact, I think they were hitting better because they felt more confident being in the actual batter's box because they had this like ankle, leg, like foot covering on. And it's simple. In case you guys are wondering how it works, the girls put it on, they hit with it. When they get to a base, they take it and their elbow. Here's the elbow protectors and stuff also that we've bought for Ziva. There's a couple different versions of them on here. The links are down there. We have one that's just an elbow, then another one that's like an elbow and forearm protector. Have the girls wear these because they will feel like they're like battle tanks. They feel like they're warriors in there, and they will stay in the box. They won't be jumping out, especially the younger girls, and they will hit the ball more consistently with less fear. And also, honestly, they'll get on base more because they won't be jumping out of the way of balls as much. They'll be like kind of moving their elbow into place to knock the ball or letting the ball like bounce off their ankle and taking one for the team a little bit more. So have them wear it. And then last but not least, this thing right here, it's a sliding glove. Have them get one of these, all right? Because I'm telling you right now, it may not be a big deal. It kind of is a big deal. It may not be a big deal at the 10 to 12U, but once they get the 14U and those girls have metal cleats on, all it takes is one time for your star pitcher or whatever to get cleated in the freaking hand by one of those metal cleats, and all of a sudden they're out for like the year, and maybe their hand never like comes back right? So sliding gloves. Get the armor. Give them a chance. Give them a fighting chance. They'll feel a lot better.
And they love it. They accessorize.
That's right. That's right.
It's like accessorizing, and they love that stuff.
Yeah. They come in different colors and stuff like that, but definitely get it to them. And so that when they get to the bag, they take it all off. They call time. They take it over to the first base coach. The first base coach should have their sliding glove on, and then they will switch out the sliding glove with their other stuff, and then they're off and running just like they do in D1 in high school. So definitely protect your kiddos, man, because all it takes is like those softballs. They weigh more than baseballs.
Dude,
and they hurt
a lot too, and you see it like 12s. Surprisingly, you see it a lot in the 12s, and more obviously as they 14s. But you see girls out there without face shields or without without a face mask, and dude, I mean, I guess some girls feel like they play better, but man, those balls. Lately, I took a couple. I took one to the elbow. It still hurts. I took one to the ankle this last week, and it still hurts.
Dude.
I'm telling you right now, man. They come in hot and they hurt. So
yeah, guys, I don't know if we told you about this. He got hit in the Ziva cracked one. It hit him in the elbow, and it hit him so hard that it actually stuck into the net it stuck to the net and his elbow for like a split second before it dropped. It didn't just go boom, boom, it went boom, and it like stuck there, and then it like kind of peeled off.
It did. The tracks of the net, the seam of the net was like in my arm for like 2 days.
Yeah.
It hit this like right in between the funny bone and like wherever. I don't even know what that is. It's not a muscle. It's not a bone. It's some sort of it hit some stuff here. It wasn't funny at all.
No.
It still hurts, bro.
Yeah. Does it really? Does it really?
Oh yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. No, it still hurts, man. It does. I got all these tattoos, is why you can't really see the bruise, but it bruised up pretty decent. But anyhow, yeah, protect yourself, protect the girls.
Yep. And we'll be back here pretty soon with some more guests. We were trying to have Coach Chloe from D GVAT on, but unfortunately schedules didn't work out. Miscommunication, probably on our part. We're going to get her back though and get her in. That's the thing. It's like trying to schedule these guests right now, right at peak season. It doesn't matter if it's Sawfield or Chloe or,
Speaking of Sawfield, we got Monday. We have playoff games, right?
I'm going to be there.
Are you going to be there?
Yeah, we're going to go watch Mountainside, and then we're going to go from Mountainside to Glencoe, I believe.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
I do have to work, but I'll be off by 5.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But, go Glencoe.
Yeah, go Glencoe.
Yep.
You guys haven't figured it out. We do follow all of the high school. We love softball. We follow all of you guys. But we have our favorites.
Yep. So but we'll be getting some more guests on here pretty soon. It's just it's gonna suck for like the first thing, first part of the season because everybody's schedule. As a matter of fact, honestly, the one that we'll probably be able to have on here probably sooner or later is Bill Hoops, because he's out in Florida, and as long as he doesn't go to bed at like 8:00 at night, we'll probably have him as a call in here pretty soon. And I think there's a guy named CJ McConnell. I think that's the guy that runs Fast Pitch Fanatics.
Nice.
Right. And we were talking about having him on there. His daughter plays, I think, down in Texas, and she's just an absolute badass. She's definitely going to go D1. Yeah. So we'll get some more guests on here. And, I've been trying to schedule time to get the commissioners on here, Dave Adelhart, and I haven't even approached it because we just, it's hard enough for us to get our schedules for like the next 5 weeks, So
a lot of these good ones are going to have to be postseason.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think so.
Honestly. And we're almost there. We're almost there before we know
we'll be
it.
over in blink of an eye, and we'll be like worrying about freaking that juggernaut 12U season.
We're going to be we're going to be in tryouts.
Yeah.
Tryout season.
How to prepare your kid for a tryout.
That's right.
Well, all right. Well, you guys have a good one, man. We'll be back. Peace out.
Peace.